This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as
Ridiculous. Okay. Ah!
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Renwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Dahnan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Xion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfrikt Milgras, the former Lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfrikt whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, There should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renan by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dahna already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still... kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Dahnan rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
What's this thing?
Wow, this place beautiful.
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dahna, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Dahnans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Xion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen,
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can. Count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
Hey, that actually came out
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Halt! I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menencia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one. A new melody.
It's almost too strong.
Then split it open. Be my guest. Now a new melody. In a bind.
Damn it, Bennett!
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that. Astral energy!
Say no more!
Excited! Fire support! Take this! More maximum fire!
Double demon fire! It's over! I can carve through armor!
Let the marksman handle it! Freeze laser!
Can you take it?
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
This one will be difficult to predict.
Not in your dreams!
I owe you one.
Your reflexes will not serve you well here.
Take this!
Now!
Leave the ensnaring. All yours, Kisara.
Radiant light! Raging cascade!
Crush! Elusive double demon fang!
Rock and weave!
Blow away! Here I come! This eagle way!
Dance in the wind!
Ready and
I'm only getting started!
The flame inside me! You're
Annihilation!
not today!
Resonate with the earth.
Mirage! Double demon fang! Take it!
I'll be saving this one! Her magic is in!
Take this!
Seal!
Double demon
I'll
fang!
be saving this one!
Resonate with the earth.
Stalagmite!
We did it!
Flame of fury!
Double demon fang!
Burning strike!
Glacial it's over!
Pierce evil!
You're mine!
Freeze
You're
laser!
finished! Heal! Raining slash!
Tempest whirl!
Blow away!
This one's mine! I never miss!
Can you take it? It's over!
Ready,
Elusive
now!
deity! Blow away! Raining slash!
Excited!
Blow away!
We can really make weapons with this?
This one will be difficult to predict.
Engaging! Elusive deity! I owe you one! Eagle ray! I'm going in! Bring him down! Blow away! Fall back! Raining slash! Double damage! I'll smash you! Oh my shield! Eat your It's too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
An astral...
That's my cue!
In a bind?
Shut him down.
Now, more for the sun phase!
Take this! It's over!
Elusive deity!
Flame of fury!
Burning!
Photon dance in the wind! Feel!
Ready fire support!
Here goes! Constellation!
Raining slash! I have no limits! Fall back!
Mega ray!
Blow away! Elusive deity! Blow away! Double demon fang! You did it!
Let the marksman handle this!
I'll find you with a shot!
Who wants to win next?
Double demon fang!
My exploits are bearing fruit. This one will be difficult to predict.
Now you'll learn!
I'll
face you! Double demon fang! Raining slash! Blow away!
Is it too late to talk over our differences?
Take this! Here! I owe you!
Far enough! Here I go! Graviton field!
Double demon fang!
Photon blast!
This one's all mine!
Lightning condense!
Double demon fang!
Take this!
Here goes!
Easter! Double demon fang!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Radiant pierce! Lightning condense! Confiscated!
Take it!
Elusive
Blow
deity!
away! Double demon fang!
I'm ready!
Glacial spear! Pierce
All yours, Kisara.
Any injuries? Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making...
This won't be easy.
Don't be such a pessimist!
Double demon fang!
I'll grind you into dust!
I'll stop its charge!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
I'll smash you!
Not today!
Elusive deity!
Saving this one!
Leave the darkness to me!
Blow away!
Elusive
Raining slash!
No further!
More where that came from!
Blow away! Double demon fang!
Seismic rupture!
one. Here, let me help. Tempest Swirl!
Eagle Ray! Raining
Into the shadow!
Throw away! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Raining Flash!
Supernova!
Take
that! Not on my watch!
I'll
Into the
smash
shadow!
you! Blow away!
Tempest Swirl!
You're mine! Double Demon Fang! Rotating Starfighter!
Here's a healing!
Demon Fang!
Benediction light.
You're mine! Here! Here I come!
Glacier Spear! Here!
Here I come! Elusive Deity! Demon Fang! Soaring Blast! Raining Flash!
Nothing gets by me! Far enough!
It's over! Elusive Deity! You picked the wrong fight! Can't get out of this! Take this! Double Demon Fang!
Raging Cascade!
The tempest engulfs you!
This one's mine!
Dance on the wind!
Glacial Spear!
Here's the evil! Breeze Lancer!
Demon Fang! Take this!
Dance in the wind! And now!
Elusive Deity!
Astral Energy!
Say no more.
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Hey, look at that enemy!
Brace yourselves! This one's tough!
Not on my watch!
You're mine!
See what I can do!
Lightning Descent!
This one's all mine! Not today!
That may prove a thorn in our side.
You're mine! Go to fire support! I'm ready! Double me! In an instant! Impact block! Not a chance!
Sight! I'm only getting lightning!
Glacial Fire!
Here's the evil!
Raining
Breeze Lancer!
Double Demon Fang! Here I come!
Mega Ray!
Double Demon Fang!
Now we're
You can't get out of this!
Primed and ready! Now! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Radiant Light!
Not a chance! Elusive
Thunderbolt!
Raining Slash! You picked the wrong fight! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Benediction in the wind! Take it! And only getting started!
Almost shattering!
Pieces! Attack time!
I can feel my power growing!
I've got a really bad feeling about this!
Armor won't save you! My shield?
Just what the doctor ordered!
Have you ever considered your purpose?
I see one, eh?
Light Astral Raging Cascade!
Down!
Sleep now!
Benediction light. Benediction light.
Ignite! Double Demon Fang! Take this!
Raging Cascade! Now! Here! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Hear me! Flame of
Double
Fury!
Demon Fang!
Burning!
Another incantation ruined.
Damn it!
Dance in the wind! Breeze Lancer!
Double Demon Fang!
Raging Cascade!
Save you!
Now!
Double Demon Fang!
Primed and ready! Where are you going?
Throw away! Can't get out of this! Not today! Elusive Deity!
I can't heal you forever!
I'm ready!
Law! Demons descend!
Flashing Fang! Double Demon Fang! I'm ready!
To the fray!
Dance on the
Sweet
wind!
dreams! Here goes! In here!
Locked and loaded!
This by the power of With this, I can become even stronger!